Okay, welcome to the Park and Rec Commission regular meeting of February 22nd, 2024. The time is 6:03 p.m. Becky, can you please call the roll?
Chair Cabrales,
Yes, here.
Commissioner Emerson, I know will not be here this evening, so she's absent. Commissioner Gutierrez.
Here.
Commissioner Pasternak.
Here.
And Commissioner Sandoval.
Here.
All right, thank you.
I would like to call agenda item number 1, approval of the regular meeting minutes. I invite any questions and answers from committee members to staff. I would like to request a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Becky,
can you please take a roll call vote?
Yes. Chair Cabrales.
Yeah.
Commissioner Gutierrez.
Yes.
Commissioner Pasternak.
Yes.
And Commissioner Sandoval.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Thank you. Craig, I accidentally muted you guys. Can you unmute that?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Did I repeat that then?
No, I got it all. Yes, you repeat.
Okay. All right. The public is welcome to address the commission at this time on matters not listed on the agenda that are within its jurisdiction. Comments may be no longer than 3 minutes and should be respectful to the community. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to share public comments? Are you gonna pass the food around? All right, let's try to light it. Yeah. I'm nervous. This is my first time running. Okay. If you're feeling tension, that's. Yeah. All right, then.
Oh my gosh.
You asked and you delivered. That's our slogan. Thanks, Steve.
Right. This is the best meeting yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so the chair closes public comment and may this request the staff responses to questions at their discretion. But I guess there were no questions, so now we're gonna move on. And I'm calling the next agenda item. Is the next agenda item the Golden Heirs Club annual report?
It is.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll do just a quick lead into this. So, hi, everyone. My name's Craig. I'm the Assistant Library and Recreation Director. And I want to introduce a couple staff here with the city, as well as the co-presidents for the Golden Heirs, who are going to share a presentation with the Golden Heirs. Before we did that, I just wanted to say how much we really appreciate the long-standing partnership that we've had with the Golden Heirs. It's been more than 50 years that we've had this partnership, that the Golden Heirs have operated out of city facilities, and we're so thankful for the programs that you've done, and excited to hear a little report. So I don't want to take all the time, though. I'm going to turn over to Darcy Chalou and Azadeh, who are going to, I'll let you introduce yourselves and maybe go from there. But you want me to load up the presentation here?
Yeah.
I'll turn it over to you once we do that.
Yeah, I can just start. My name's Darcy Chalou. I've met most of you. This is the first time meeting. I'm here. Nice to meet you. I'm the recreation supervisor here at the Sanderson Community Center. And Azadeh just recently got hired on with us. Has it been 5 months already?
It's been a good 5 months.
Yeah, so this is Azadeh. She's our program coordinator here, and her focus is primarily on older adults, as well as the other programs that we're running here. And so part of that oversight is the Golden Heirs who are at this facility, and then I'll let Azadeh introduce the Golden Heirs.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here tonight. Thank you for having me. It's been great being here for the last 5 months, working with amazing program director Lori Vermont, who's going to be presenting on behalf of the Golden Heirs, along with Donna Robertson and Kira Platt, who are president for the Golden Heirs. Thank you.
Steve is my direct report, and he is here for support as always.
share the screen here. Are we ready to go with that? Okay, and Becky, can you see that okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you want to run?
I
I think we just need the arrows, right?
think you
There you
can
go.
stand, how do you like?
Well, probably easier if I
Okay.
can see it. So, Lori Vermont, and I started training, in December with Carol Jacobs Ports, who has been the Golden Ears leader for so many years. So she was imparting as much knowledge as she possibly could into my little brain, and, I've been on my own since January. So I've been in the San Rafael community for the past 25 years, worked at the San Rafael Chamber of Commerce and Youth and Arts, did the Italian Street Painting Festival, and I worked at Whistle Stop for the last for 7 years before I tried retiring, didn't like it, and so here I am on back. And so this is the Golden Ears board, and there are currently 10 people on the board, and hopefully, in the near future, we can bring in some new people, because a lot of people have been here for a long time, and they do amazing work, but it's a lot. So let's see what else we do. There are monthly themed lunches, so pictures here, it looks like Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, and we had Valentine's Day this month, last week, and we're getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, so big corn, corned beef and cabbage, the usual. And it's just a great time. We're coming back from the COVID slump and bringing, new people. We've had a big surge in new members this year so far. And I think people are ready to, get back out and participate. The prices are really reasonable. They're usually catered lunches, and everyone loves participating, and there's usually some music or entertainment and a good time. So let's see what else, and ongoing events. So I noticed just before that there's a mistake there. So there's actually 3 Wednesday afternoons a month of bingo. And we have monthly or quarterly night bingos, and there are the themed events that people love. And we also have the B Street Ballroom. So right now it's once a month. There's groups it is a big contingent of people who love to ballroom dance, and they come on Sunday afternoon and dance, and that's really what they're interested in. And we're grateful to be able to do that for them. And we go next, and then during the weekdays, we have ongoing club events. So there's watercolor, there's wood carving, mahjong, lots of bridge, 3 days of all different kinds of bridge, and dominoes, and then arts and crafts. So there's a big contingent of arts and crafts, and then a lot of both the watercolor and the crafts are sold in our office. So that's additional fundraising opportunities that we have. Oh, and there's a Healthy Steps class on Monday, which is, gentle exercise. And and then the biggest thing that people seem to know us about and really love are the field trips. So there's nothing better than going to a theater presentation in the city. We had yesterday was Michael Jackson, the MJ tribute concert. 48 people, you know, they get on a bus right out here. They get dropped off at the theater, they go to the theater, they get out, get on the bus and come back. No parking, no traffic, no nothing. It's the best way to do things. And then, of course, there's all the other things that they do. We had a Rose Parade group that went down. And they had a great weekend, you know, we went to the Rose Parade, a Holiday Lights tour, Monterey Aquarium, below the State and Gardens, which haven't been there. So there's just wonderful things to do in our community and around, and this is a great way to do it. So people really are attracted to the Golden Airs because of the trips. You know, the trips are a huge draw for people. And then additional programs. So we have, you know, workshops again, the craft fair and our gala. So the gala is like a big holiday luncheon. The craft fair brings in people, you know, our local people, our members and other artists, you know, who want to sell things at our craft fair, and you know, another fundraising opportunity for us. And people bring in their books and puzzles, and they can bring them in, take them out. You know, we don't charge, we don't follow them, but it's just great to have them. And then whatever the books are left over, we take them to the Marin Senior Fair in the fall. And people love to do that. And we also, in conjunction with the Wednesday bingo class, group, we have a congregate meal program. So we work with the county on that, and they deliver the food there, here, and we have volunteers that serve it. And we're trying to build up that opportunity, because most of our members qualify for the congregate meal program. And, you know, it's here, it's another reason to bring people in to, you know, participate in what we've got going here. So, we get on to the next, and mostly our, everything is volunteer. I'm the only one that gets any money. And everyone is volunteering for everything. You know, the instructors are volunteers, the office staff are volunteers. All the kitchen crew and servers for the lunches and the congregate meals are volunteers. And crafts, bingo, raffles, everything. You know, the bingo people are totally dedicated. I mean, they take it from start to finish. You know, they do everything, and the volunteers are truly amazing. They could always use more. I mean, that's what I did at Whistle Stop with Vivillon. You know, I was a volunteer manager, and you know, I love working with volunteers because you know they're you know, they're here to help out with something that they're passionate about. So, you know, our job is to keep them passionate so that they volunteer more. And that's it. Any questions that I might know? Maybe they can help, because I've only been here 3 months, but.
Can I speak?
You can.
I just wanted to mention that in 55 years of the Golden Airs and many, many years of trying, we have never come up with a logo until last year. We finally came up with a logo that everybody loves. You want to pass it around, take a look at our design. We think it's very nice. And I also wanted to say that we unveiled that logo at the senior fair for the first time, and we did win first place for our booth. which we were very. Thank you.
I was just gonna say, it's super impressive to me that you're basically run on so many volunteers. I didn't know that. I know how hard that is, so. Yeah, very impressive.
I do have a question on volunteers, clearly it's an impressive number. Do you, worry, and maybe you guys can answer better, about turnover on the volunteers, like over time? Do you find that just people do fill the spots? I know it can be hard to fill some of, certainly like president roles and things like that.
Well,
It
that
can
has
be-
been my song for a while.
It can be. People were just afraid in the last few years to really come out and do anything. And it's just now last year was a beginning, but it's more people are stepping up now and coming in. So hopefully we get some of our younger seniors involved, the ones that are just joining now, because most of us, the executive board, I don't think.
Lynn's the youngest.
Lynn is the youngest, but most of us are in our 80s. You know, it wears on you after a while. So, yeah, we keep begging and asking, and we get them, which really happened at the, our craft fair last year. We were just like, we had no volunteers, and we just had to go, come on. Well, we ended up with all we needed plus some, so it's going out and saying, hey, you want to keep this going? You've got to volunteer and help with these projects.
Yeah, I mean, after being within the business community for so many years, you know, my goal is to bring on some new board members who have more outside contacts so that we can help with fundraising and grant writing and, you know, or at least researching grants. Because I think that's what we need to keep, you know, to keep moving forward. So, I want to sort of get us more out in the community because there are so many people, you know, who don't know about us. You know, they really don't know who we are, what we do, and if they're not in the Center 12 community, I mean, because we have members from all over. We have, you know, a gentleman that came from Mill Valley last week and said, oh, you know, I'm gonna join this, you know, I wondered if I have no place to go in Mill Valley, and here's a place to go, and, you know, we're in his getting old, you know, and it is, you know, it's got one of the largest senior populations anywhere. So I think, you know, we should, you know, be sort of getting out in the public, but because so few people are doing so much within our group, we don't have time to, you know, sort of get out there and let the world know what we're doing. So that's sort of my pitch.
I have one other question. I assume I'm sorry, I don't know this. I'm sure you enrolled us last year. 501(c)(3), and is that true?
Yes,
Okay, and then is it a membership, like dues organization?
Yeah.
Like, so all, okay.
yes, $40.
Yeah.
$40, you know, not a lot, and they
Yeah.
get discounts on that.
Which reminds me, the city's website.
That's what that need to be updated.
Needs to be updated, and the hours need to be updated,
Yeah.
and you need to take the whistle stop picture out,
Okay,
because that's still showing
Yeah.
as the old whistle stop location.
thank you.
Yeah.
So who manages our website?
Patty's was,
Patty? Yeah,
what
it's
is
really
being
awesome.
done. Yeah, I know, but those were just things that we noticed on that website.
Maybe say something too. I kind of want to piggyback off of something you said that, you know, I think Marin County, I think it's important to note that we're one of the fastest aging counties in the state of California. I believe that the most recent statistic that I saw was that just under 30% of the population of Marin County is age 60 or older. And that's expected to continue to increase over the next 10 to 15 years. And with that, I think, the city, we have had a lot of conversations about, what does that mean for, programming for us? How do we help make sure that there are great programs for older adults in our community? And I think the Golden Heirs is a great example of that. I think that, what I've heard over and over again from Golden Heirs participants is that they really appreciate the opportunity to be social, to connect, to be together. And so I think, all the examples of programming that you saw there fit really well in our recreation model. And the Golden Heirs are really well suited to provide programming in a way that is probably cleaner, more efficient, and in a way it's better than we as city employees and staff can do it because of the volunteer model. But that does also take a lot of time and energy from the program coordinator role to do that, and all the volunteers that are supporting the program. So, again, just thank you for all the work that you put in, programs that you provide. It's really important and a big part of what we want to continue to support moving forward.
I had one question. Does all of the programming happen here at this? Center?
Primarily, yeah, I mean, that is what the city provides us is the space. And except for the trips.
Right.
Occasionally.
But nothing at the other community centers. Right?
But
Nothing at the other community centers.
no,
I think all of the Golden Heirs direct programs are offered here at this facility. And, the way our agreement is set up is there's a fee waiver associated with that, where we offer free use of the facility. And we structured this agreement in a variety of different ways over the years, but the most current agreement model is that we provide use of the facility. There is a club room all the way down at the end of the hallway that's dedicated use and space. I think a couple computers in there, some front desk space, lounge area, specifically for the Golden Heirs. And then use of classrooms. Of course, we have a lot of programs happening here, and we're always trying to expand programs here. So I think that's always a conversation between the Golden Heirs and our staff about, which rooms make the most sense for use. And then the larger events, using the multi-purpose room, the auditorium there. But yeah, all of that is housed here.
Any other questions? Okay, so I wanted to open in-person public comment. Comment?
I'd like to see the logo.
So then I will close public comment and request a motion to accept the report.
move.
In a second. The chair invites Becky to roll call the vote.
All right. Chair Cabrales,
Yes.
Commissioner Gutierrez, Commissioner Pasternak, and Commissioner Sandoval.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I think we'll take just a quick second, I think, for some transition. You're welcome to stay, like I said, but if you want to go, you're also welcome to go. So
Go eat my dinner.
exactly. And we'll just do kind of a transition, and we're gonna introduce the next agenda item in a second. We're also trying to make sure we get the next presentation, so you might need to send that over in just a moment. So let's just take like 1 or 2 minutes just to pause. Yeah.
Always happy to see one of your board members, Marilyn Ryan, who's been a long time player. At our both-
Yeah, that's what you're
So,
saying.
let me know.
Yeah.
No worries, the lady.
He's a lovely lady.
I'm good, thank you.
I know, this is terrible, for dinner and everything. Oh, my gosh, okay, yeah, lovely bar.
Thank you.
Let me see.
I start down some.
So the email that I asked.
We had. Minutes of prep.
And then next we'll be-
It's sort of a tricky time.
That'll be easy. This.
We don't have food in our food meeting, so we already feel behind.
This is the first time.
Nothing you're supposed to say that we.
I'm sorry.
usually have a 3-course meal, but.
Yeah, the
you know.
bird. Amazing, right?
The fine Italian wine and
Yeah.
and the
The love.
charcuterie.
They rolled
plate.
in the prime rib. That's amazing. Thank you,
Where do I
Greg.
sign up? Do you want to?
Yeah.
Try not to set this precedent too early in my time. So
Yeah.
this is a one-off, don't get
Mhm.
Yeah.
started.
So the fine French champagne is like.
Recording in progress.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, no.
If you could mute Jessica. Oh, you got it, I think. Thanks.
Transition.
You can just hit the mute on it.
There. Okay. And Becky, can you hear us okay?
There we go. All right.
Okay, so I will call the next agenda item, which I believe is the Marin Bocce Federation Annual Report.
Great.
Great, welcome.
Thank you. So, my name is Larry Clayman. I am the newly installed president this year. Because someone's got to do it, but, happily I'm doing it. I should say that happily I am doing it, but of course, you have to step up. That's how it's done. Jeff Tremolata, our treasurer, who's been treasurer for a couple of years now, thank goodness. And you all know Jessica Libyan, who is now our executive director. We have got her to agree for at least another 5-year contract. Well, listen, it's a gift, every year. But let me just start first off that after hearing the Golden Heirs have been here 50 years, we're just sort of ramping up to 30 years. And I was feeling really good until I met the Golden Heirs. Now they're 50 years and they're way ahead of us. But I'm excited to be here to see how the city works. All three of us are longtime San Rafael residents. So we're not only invested in our tax dollars and everything else, but we're invested because we all live here. And I think that's really a wonderful thing. So I'm happy to see my city work all the time. We'll get into all this, but real quickly. I believe that, and I've been playing for 15 years, that Marin Bocce Federation has been a wonderful custodian of the facility that you all have granted us the privilege to work in, operate, and play in. So we don't take that for granted at all. We have spent a lot of time and money and sweat equity in keeping the facility world-class. And because it really is world-class. Well, a lot of us travel around, some in play tournaments, they all do. But we also hear from people that visit our facility, wow, this is really amazing. There's no dirt, there's no benches, there's, there's no little small fence around it. We're really a world-class facility that for the city of San Rafael and the county of Marin offers a really great recreational opportunity. Not only to your point, Craig, about people that are seniors, but we have young kids, teenagers, the bar population up and down 4th Street, all playing on our courts. And it's just a wonderful thing. So, yeah.
I may or may not be in that picture.
That is not day drinking. But anyway, we feel it's a privilege to be part of this community. We all love Bocce. What we do here offers a value to the city. And we get a payoff too, because we get to be out here in what I think is a wonderful social part of our life. And there's a small bit of competition. Very competitive. But anyway, thank you all for inviting us back this year. And there it is.
Okay, so I'll take it away. Just really quick, how many of you have not been to Bocce? It's okay. Okay,
I've been
we're gonna get you there.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Free
So.
brownies.
So for you that don't know me, my name's Jessica Livian, and I am the executive director. So we're gonna go over some of this stuff today. You can go to the next slide, please. So last year, if you guys remember, we were doing, we were resurfacing all of our courts. We have 8 outdoor courts and 2 indoor courts. The indoor courts hadn't been resurfaced in 15 years. And the outdoor courts hadn't been resurfaced in about, I think it was 8 years, something like that. So we were supposed to do it last year or 2022. We had some holdup with all the shipment coming from Italy. We hire world-class guys from Italy to do the court surfacing. So this got completed in March. We had to push out our leaks just about a couple weeks. But everybody was okay with that. So that is all the supplies that get shipped here from Italy. It takes quite a long time. That's Daniele Polioni, who is the, he's the one that comes and designed all of our courts. And he comes out here at least once a year, just traveling. He does this all over the world. So that's sort of what the courts look like. It's a long process. I actually helped him with the process. So I now know how to build bocce courts and learned all of that process, which is pretty cool. All of our players are always, well, how is this built? What is it? What's underneath? And it's like a 3-layer resin that they do. Very, very, very specific. But they, as Larry said, they are world-class courts. They roll a lot differently than if you guys ever been to, you know, Oyster Shell or like down in Sausalito, very, very different. But these do require to be done they should be done about every 5 years max. Outside, inside, they can go about 10 years. It's just the weather is a problem on the courts. So we are trying to get a lot more shade over those courts for many, many reasons, not just for the longevity of the courts, but also for the players, because we have a large demographic of seniors that play during the day. We have 3 senior leagues that are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There's 60 teams in that. So there's about 100 people a morning that you guys probably see in your parking lot sometimes, but they just need more shade. And that's something that we are working on. So this is just for a point of reference. If you were standing outside looking over our courts, that's what you're going to see right there. That's D court. So we did a sort of a mock. This was a trial that we did to see if it was going to work. And it does give some shade. It's not in the proper area that we would like. But it's at least getting some shade. So that's an investment that we're doing. We hope to do a lot more. And we actually, just so you know, we had an original landscape architect that is now coming back on board to help us sort of try to design some more shade structures for everybody down there that's going to go with because it's very beautiful, and a lot of people have don't take away the beauty of it, and we need to be able to get shade and keep it looking nice. So this year is our 30th anniversary of when Marin Bocce started. So you're actually looking at these 4 are original founding board members that we had. We actually just had a plaque made up for them. Alice Bipiona recently just passed away a couple weeks ago. But the other 3 are still alive and well. Todd has actually just joined our board. So he does a lot of really great things. It's nice to have him on the board. We did a little founding thing for them last year. And it's nice to still have people from the beginning that are still involved and still helping us, because it gives it sort of a history when it comes to that. I did as I call it, the inaugural holiday parties this year. So kind of hard to play bocce. I call it bocce, he calls it bocce.
I was gonna ask.
In Italian, it technically is bocce.
I'm married to an Italian.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in America, we tend to call it bocce, so you can call it whatever you like. So I've been trying to utilize the indoor courts more because it's really a social thing for a lot of people, doing a lot of team building. So a lot of stuff with companies, schools, especially. This is just some family stuff. On the right, that was the nursing, a lot of nurses from Marin Health. So getting them all involved, doing a lot of holiday parties. It's a great place to do holiday parties, so it doesn't feel so stuffy. People come in, we do a little fun tournament for them. And it's a good utilization of the courts as well. So that's been a good thing. This is just sort of, we have a lot of new signs because a lot of people, when they walk by Bocce, don't know what it is. And it tends to look like a private club, if you will. So our biggest thing is to be inviting to all people to be able to come in because it's open to the public. We are a 501c3. And we do not have any memberships. The only money that people pay is to play on a team. Otherwise, if you want to rent the courts or for events and stuff like that. So we have a lot more signage now and we have it on all gates. So people are walking around, they understand what it is. All of our stuff is now on the cloud. I've worked really hard to get away from paper. So things are on the cloud so that the board members and myself can keep that safe. We are doing an annual survey of the players, so it's important that we know sort of what people want, what their experience is down there, so that we can only better that. And this is the second year that we've done the survey. The survey has been very helpful. It's been high rated of thumbs up for us. People always have things to say, and it's always little things that we look at to fix, but it's usually it's nice to have that. And then employee benefits. Aside from myself, there's 5 other employees. I'm the only full-time employee. Everybody else is, two employees are year-round, the other ones are seasonal. So it's from March until October. That's when our season is. And so they stay for that. Jeff is our treasurer. So do you want to talk on this or do you want to wait? Okay. This is just sort of our basic operating income. And so we have a little projected for next year or this year, I guess, 2024. There's a lot of for us, we have a lot of expenses, especially this year that things are really going up. So all of the money that we take in, we are putting back into the facility. It's a 30-year aging facility, and some of it, the building itself is also really old. So there's a lot of just different ways to better the facility for everybody, to make it a better experience for them. And my biggest thing is just safety. You know, with the senior demographic there's always a tripping hazard no matter what, but we need more safety handrails for them. Night League is not as bad, but like lighting is a bit of a problem. Safety and shade, sun is a big one. So this is sort of right now we've been doing a lot of different things that I think the board hasn't done in a long time. So looking at a 10-year financial sustainability. I'll let that for this.
I've been the treasurer. This will be my second year, and I was here last year. And I touched on the importance of future capital expenses and the lease that's for us expires in 2030, which is kind of when you look at this tomorrow, when you look at future expenditures. So I look back, maybe it was like a $1.1 million initial investment. That's with free work and a lot of contributions from Gelatis and people like that. And then I up to 2011, from 2011 to 22, maybe another $670,000. And we're preliminarily looking at $750,000 over the next 10 years. So it's kind of like a house, right? The first 10, 15 years, if you buy it in decent condition, nobody really thinks about it. It's the second 10 to 15 period that you got to pay attention to. And we're in that period now where we're going to take a much closer look going forward. So we're working on a reserve analysis. We're going to have a professional reserve analysis done. Working on getting, and then we're going to get a professional commercial inspector, kind of like when you buy property, they go in there and they tell you everything that's wrong and what it costs. And we're gonna feed that to the reserve analysis, scrape out what's deferred maintenance and keep in there what's capital. And then we're gonna get separate bids for some of the bigger items. We're gonna take a closer look at the roof. And underground infrastructure, sprinkler system. You know, it's metaphorically a lot of gray hair coming on the facility. So we put together a preliminary 10-year financial sustainability table going forward, and we're gonna buff and polish that whole thing, and then we'll be back with you with information to address long-term use of the facility. Just our goal is to have not only money set aside for future capital expenditures, but to have a rainy day fund or just a safety net. And there are all kinds of things that can happen that, you know, it's like the chicken that crosses the freeway. Could have got ran over 5 times and has no idea, you know, could have happened. And, you know, there's the pandemic, we got lucky actually getting fundraised to deal with that, but there are any number of things that can happen that could cause us to drain funds where we need them to do the courts and all that. So the courts are just really one aspect. It's an important aspect, but it's just one. We got a big building there. That's all. We got grounds. There's so much that needs to get done. So that graph there, our goal is to get enough reserves to fund 1 year's worth of revenue. And based on projections, we're a little short of that, but that's a target. That's a goal. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what that's about.
Thank you, Jeff. So we also host a lot of tournaments aside from fundraising events. We do a ton. I do a lot of stuff with all the schools, especially local schools, high schools, middle schools, where they do their own fundraising tournaments. These are separate tournaments that are a little more for our players to get a little more competitive. So the in-house tournaments are for league players only, and there's a wide variety of different ones that I really try to encourage, not only the competitive players, but other people coming in, because it tends, in the past, it's been sort of the same people. And so we're really doing a lot to pair like a advanced player with a non-advanced player, and then they have to play together. The USBF is the United States Bocce Federation. So that is, there's different sectors in the United States, in case you guys aren't aware of that. There's the Western, the Midwestern, and the East. So we are a part of the United States Bocce Federation. So we host, we are hosting 6 tournaments, and that really is players from all over. It's usually the Western sector that people come from, Oregon, all over California, and sometimes Arizona, things like that. And so people will come over here to play in those. They're fun to watch. There's a lot more advanced people. And some of these tournaments are getting them ready for the national tournament. There is a national tournament in every year, and it's always usually in the Midwest or the East. We're trying to bring it back to the California. But so those are really fun and open to anybody to come watch. And it's a pretty cool thing. And this is tournaments that we host for our day leagues, or just in general. So in the morning league, after each season, there's 3 seasons for morning and night league. So morning league, like I said, is 60 teams. Night league is 100 teams. So Monday through Friday night. And that ranges anywhere from people in their 20s all the way up to like in their 80s. So the morning league, after each season, we do spring, summer, and fall. They're 9-week sessions. They get a tournament, and they do love their tournament. So they're a lot of fun. I think it's a great thing but not only for people just in general of any age, but especially for seniors. It's their social scene. And it's really just a great thing. So these are the events that we've got scheduled for this year. So like you can see, there's a lot of, most of these are nonprofits, local nonprofits. There's a lot of schools as well. And we do like Gilead House. We do a lot of Curry Senior Center. These are repeat that keep coming back every single year. They're able to make a good amount of money for their organization. They sort of set up everything. They come to the facility, and I run the tournament for them. So it makes it very easy for them. I run the whole bocce tournament, MC it for them, or one of the staff. And it's just a huge space. So it's a great space for them to raise money for their whatever it is they're doing. This is a little snippet of bocce life. So before I came in, we were very senior forward. We still are, which is a great thing. You're trying to get a little more diversity in there with age diversity, also just, trying to get more people of color, things like that. So it sort of rounds out. So we've been doing well at that. We've got a lot of younger people coming in and playing at night. The word has really gotten spread around about that. The bridge between the ages, the gap, is a beautiful thing to see, because at first it was not the best. And now it really brings a liveliness to something that was a little stale. So it's really cute to see people in their 30s, like friends with people in their 70s and hanging out. So that's bocce life. We already did this one. And that's it. So open it up to you guys for questions.
So I want to invite questions from the staff.
Thank you. I just had a question on the financials. Is the cash, that the slides you showed with your cash projections, is that more aspirational or more like realistic, do you think?
On the graph or the P and L?
I couldn't read the P&L. I was assuming those letters coordinated with the graph.
Yeah, the P&Ls show, an overage of whatever, $35,000 to $89,000, of overage. And so in order to meet projected capital projections, and we save that money and we spend it when we have to, on top of that, we want to have an operating reserve. So your question again?
Is that cash reserve number, is that more aspirational, or do you think you can reach it?
Oh, okay, where we wanted a minimum 1 year revenue, yeah. I think we're at about, depending on how you look at it, between 6 to 8 or 9 months of revenue, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
So every year is a different year, so we're figuring we're gonna get better at sourcing funding through other means. Right now, we're primarily dependent on league fees. And we're raising them, and it's still quite affordable still. But it's aspirational right now, but we feel like we'll find a way to get there.
Thank you.
It's achievable.
Great.
It really is.
I know it's hard to tell, but,
That's a good question.
and I assume the reserve study will.
A question.
Yes.
How many people can the indoor facility host?
Good question. I usually don't go above. I'd say I usually don't go above 40, 50 max. The most we'll have is 4 teams in there when we're playing leagues, so that if you figure it's about 50. And we usually will do that, like in the winter, I'll do that, plus we have a rose garden that's beautiful. So I usually will kind of like flow people through there, and if I need to put up a tent, we do that as well. But I think it comes about 50.
And do you host other events besides bocce events?
Yeah, like we have Coleman School, they use our courts to do cornhole. There's we do weddings and baby showers. The Rose Garden is really great for that. So I had my wedding there. It's great for weddings. It's great for birthday parties, things like that. So we are doing a lot of outreach when it comes to that, to let people know. I mean, it is an event space also. It is there for bocce, but people can. I'm just people can they can rent the space for whatever they like. The only problem is the leagues take over a lot, so it's very limited on when they can do that, and we try to remain respectful with our neighbors, so we never go past 10 o'clock.
What do you hope to achieve? You said you were bringing back the gardener. Did you say that?
The landscape.
Landscaper.
Oh, yeah, well, when talking about trying to figure out how to add the proper shade, which is just sun protection for everybody. There's been some of the players a lot of the players want that, but there's been people that are sort of doing this because they think it's gonna look ugly. And, so it's more to align with his original vision of what was down there and to help us sort of figure out what it's gonna cost, what it's gonna look like. And how to do that. So he's luckily really willing to still step in and help us out. It's, if you've ever been there in the summertime,
Yes.
yeah, okay, it's hot.
Yes.
And everybody sort of gathers to the few air, we have tons of umbrellas and things like that, but it's only, we need some bigger shade and sun is a problem. Everybody down there is always dressed in, looks like REI outfit, like just sun stuff. So I'd like to be able to get it, and we could get more use of the courts too, if you have shade and people can play from 1 to 5, because that 1 to 5 is a tough time. And I really would like to get some sort of after school programs going with some of the kids like Davidson and things like that. And that's a perfect time that is totally unused down there. So if we have some shade, it'd be great.
We don't want to cover all the courts. We just want to find the best shade stations, pergolas that
Yeah.
give people the opportunity, more people to be in the shade. To Jessica's point, people, people don't like to change. And they're worried that we're gonna have, triangle canvas sails up all over everything with big poles. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna blend into the environment well.
Yeah.
And still provide shade, because it is needed. And also it wreaks havoc on the courts.
There's a lot to it. It's,
Yeah.
you do that, then you have to change the lighting. So there's a lot of different things that is more than just throwing up, like you said, shades and stuff. Landscape architect.
The guy that did the design did an incredible job. It's a beautiful facility and his involvement lends a lot of credibility to the process.
Yeah.
We just tag on a couple of comments on that. I think first, before I tie directly to that, I just want to again, thank you for all the work that you do. Just like I said, for the Golden Bears, Marin Bocce Federation provides a really incredible program service to the community in a way that we as the city are unable to do. The way that we're structured, we have, I don't remember how many years it was initially when the agreement was adopted. Was it a 30-year agreement, I think, at the time?
It's pretty long.
It was a long-term, there's a facility management agreement that does come up and expire pretty soon. I think
Yeah,
that was something that.
Relatively soon, like
relatively
2030.
soon, in the way that I'm thinking about it, and I'm glad to hear that you're as well. I think that's something that we'll want to take a look in the future. I think we'd be very supportive of that conversation,
Yeah.
looking forward to what that will look like to hopefully continue the agreement that we have with Marin Bocce Federation moving forward. The way that that's structured, their organization is fully responsible for management of the facility. And that includes all of the capital improvement costs, the maintenance, the upkeep, all the things that cost a lot of money.
Yep.
And so I think as part of that, that's a huge investment on their part in the facility. And so that long-term agreement kind of makes sense to make sure that they're not investing millions of dollars in the agreement that could go away in a very short period of time. And I think to that point too, things like major investments in shade structures, port refurbishment, things of that nature. We do still have processes in the city that we want to be involved in. We want to make sure we're aware of what's happening, that we have an opportunity for things like that to go through our community development department as needed for building permits, design review if needed. And of course, to bring those types of things to you, so you have an opportunity to weigh in and see it as well. And so I know that's something we've talked about in the past, but just wanted to make sure that I made that.
That's good to know.
There'll be no revolving Coca-Cola sign. And we're not gonna sell the naming rights to Bank of Marin without us asking you first, right?
Well, and frankly, I mean, those are things, right, as a city that I know you're joking, but it's important. And I think that, one of the reasons that this is a great relationship is because you're mindful of those types of things and parking, all these other issues that when you run a great program that's very attractive to the community, there's all of these other things that can come up along the way. And that's why we have an agreement. And that's why it's good to make sure that we have opportunities to talk about these things and keep the communication open, which has been very good. We're very pleased with that.
That's good news. So a couple things for me to wrap up on our end, if we're close to wrapping up, is that one of our success stories is because we do have Jessica as our ED. And you can see a lot of the things that are coming, the events, the excitement, the organization, and the Bochi skills. So Bochi, are all because of Jessica's hard work, along with the board and the people that play, you all have real investment in it. I also think that you saw tonight that we're running it more like a business. Yeah, we're a 501c, but we have a lot of money coming through there. We have a lot of responsibility to the city and responsibility to the players each and every day to provide that 100% facility. So we do have to run it like a business now. And yeah, we get a little pushback from some of our older members, but a lot of our newer members, not only the board, but who are playing, are business people, and they understand that. And I think that just goes to show you that we are looking long-term in other avenues to be able to maintain what we've already done into the future. I never saw spreadsheet for years. Now we got them.
I was wondering, this may be a little bit unconventional, what I'm about to say, but the city also has a lot of facilities, the Parks and Rec, a lot of facility, a lot of real estate, buildings, this and that. I haven't gone on site yet to see what a sample projected capital expenditures look for the city, but that would be something, if it's on site, I can go look. But that's of interest to me. Something like that, to see how it's, how it's done, how it's, projected like that, that it could be beneficial.
I can speak to that. Yeah, we do have on our website, you can take a look at our FY 23-24 budget and work plan. There's a lot to that, so why, if you're interested more specifically in our library recreation department or our recreation and childcare, I'd be happy to share more information with you. We're right in the middle of budget season right now, projecting our FY 24-25 budget, so we're in the midst of that. A lot of conversations about what that looks like. And in the last couple of years, we've also we took on a citywide park and recreation master planning process that incorporated some planning for the next 10 years, where we took a look at the existing facilities, the conditions, the maintenance repairs that we expected we would need to take on, as well as some of the more the larger capital improvement projects. We brought in some financial analysts to help support how we would pay for those improvements.
Okay.
So we do have some information that's available.
That is also, looking forward to, once we get our, information put together more than we have now, presenting it and discussing it, and, we'll be viewing it similarly as you guys view your own facilities. And then go from there.
Perfect. Thank you, Darcy, for being a wonderful liaison between us and the city. You're at all our meetings, you always give us good information, you always help us when we have questions or when we need advice, so I just want to acknowledge Darcy.
I appreciate you guys. You made it easy.
Let's get out of here on a high note.
I don't, are we having more questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
It's really good.
I think we need to.
We have to approve it.
Yes, and so now I'm gonna call for a motion to accept the report.
I'll motion to accept the report.
Second.
Please come and play on our facility. Please come and see the excitement that's created every day and night there. You're a minute away. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right.
Our top pitchman.
Colonel Tom Parker.
Thanks again.
Becky, you got that. Roll call for that.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. See you later.
Bye.
So I invite Becky to do the roll call.
Yes, and I just want to confirm that was Commissioner Sandoval who motioned and Pastor Knack who seconded. Is that correct? Okay. Chair Cabrales? Commissioner Gutierrez?
Yes.
Commissioner Pasternak? And Commissioner Sandoval.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Motion approved.
At this time, I'd like to invite the city staff to share their liaison report.
Well, I'm gonna look to my staff to see, first off, if they have anything that they'd like to share. I've got a couple of notes on my end, but I'll turn it over to them first.
No, I'm good.
I think you represent us well. Connie.
Thank you.
So it's gonna
Thanks a
share
lot,
just a
Sid.
couple of quick upcoming events. This is not one of ours, but I noted it. It's the Marine Arts and Crafts Show at the Exhibit Hall. It's this weekend, if you're interested. It's also Chinese New Year, February 3rd through 29th, and it is Black History Month. I know the city is planning a lunch and learn on February 28th for city employees, so talk more about Black History Month, invite some speakers to that. Our spring summer activity guide, which is right here, it's hot off the presses, so if you're interested in a copy, if you didn't get one, there's some copies here. A lot of great programs in there. We took the approach this year to try to advertise as many of our summer programs now as we can. That seems to be kind of the trend. I'm sure that you're seeing that registration for summer programs is happening earlier and earlier. So we want to make sure that everyone in the community was aware of what we're offering, not only right now, but for the summer. So you will see quite a few additional summer programs that we have this year. Summer registration, online walk-in and mail-in registrations begins on March 6th. So a lot of programs that are in here. You can't register just yet. We want to make sure people have time to take a look. Registration will open on March 6th. Second Friday Art Walk is on March 8th. If you are interested in taking a look at the Winter Invitational at the Falkirk, you got a couple more days. Check that out. That runs through February 24th. So that show in particular will be part of the Second Friday Art Walk. There's some really wonderful stuff up there. That's part of that exhibit. Coming up on March 10th, the Age Friendly Partnership, that is a partnership with the city and another group of volunteers. They're hosting a 90 and better celebration that's going to be right here in the community center. Ozade is helping to support that. We sent invitations to around 1,000 individuals, 1,000 Centerville residents that are aged 90 or older. Again, kind of speaking to what we've been talking about earlier throughout the meeting. And do you know where we're at, RSVP?
We're at 92.
If it was a 90, I would have said. no.
Yeah.
92
RSVP.
RSVP.
So there's gonna be more coming, so yeah, we're looking forward.
And I know I heard that at least one individual was, he's gonna turn 105 this year,
Yeah.
so. Really kind of incredible, it's a super fun event. I do know that we'll have, council members there. If any of you are interested in attending, stopping by, or if you know anyone who wants to volunteer to help support that event, feel free to either let me or else me. Couple more department specific updates. Our Terra Linda Park and Community Center plan, which I know we shared some information about that in the last few meetings. That went to our city council on Tuesday, and for design, the design contract was approved. So we're going to be moving forward to enter into a contract with Gates and Associates. They'll be leading that process moving forward, and we're hopefully going to be kicking that project on soon. So keep you posted on that. Similarly, the Peacock Gap Park Play Area design, we're hoping for kickoff for that project in early March, and some community outreach will likely follow shortly after that. Continuing to work on the Pickaway Park enhancement project, planning there, still about 95% design, just kind of working on refining and continuing to get that ready to take to bid. And we're making some progress with the foulable fencing project at Elder Field baseball field. This has been a project that's been on the list for a while. We've gone through a couple of different requests for proposal there. A couple of those were cost prohibitive. The most recent one, we ended up rejecting bids because they were not responsive. We decided to take a slightly different approach there, and I'm really happy with the direction we're going. It's actually going to save the city a substantial amount of money than what we had budgeted. And we're kind of the final permitting phase of that. I just had a meeting today where we're just routing that through design review and environmental permitting, and hoping that we'll be able to take that to construction very, very soon here. So we'll keep you all posted on that. It's a pretty focused project to install some new foul fencing that will help protect spectators at the new ramp that was installed, the ADA restroom, and that congregation zone there, as well as protect Anderson Lane. So I'm excited about that project. We have second round interviews today for a program coordinator at the Terra Linda Community Center. That's a role that's responsible for the community center programs as well as for aquatics programs. And we're looking forward to moving forward some recommendations for hire from that process. A recommendation for hire from that process, not some, right?
Yeah.
Also, received a resignation for the Assistant Library and Recreation Director position for the library. That's a recent development that I want to share with you. So we will be going out for a recruitment. We're going to be looking for an interim assistant director that will support library operations. So that's something. And then the last note I had here was that I wanted to share that a couple of our staff are going to be attending the California Park and Recreation Society annual conference, which is coming this next week, I believe, and the two staff are going, or they're over here, so we're excited to give them an opportunity to get some networking, hopefully bring back some good information to the department. So I'm sure it'll be a good time down there as well. It's in Palm Springs, so
I'll be suffering.
it'll be a hard day.
It'll be fun.
74, 75.
Right, but that is a really incredible opportunity to really learn and bring information back and stay current on industry trends. So we're excited that we have some representation.
What's the exhibit hall where you can see playground structures and drinking fountains and all that while we're working on these projects? We go, hey, so really
Take
cool.
note of it.
Exactly. And those are good. I'm sure I missed some. There's a lot happening right now. We're staying busy for sure, but yeah, it's a really busy time.
All right, are there any? Comments? Okay, then I guess I'm gonna call the next agenda item here. So other brief reports on meetings, conferences, and or seminars attended by the commission members.
Well, I went to my first pickle weed meeting, and that was fantastic. Thank you for that opportunity. I know you're coming next month, right, to do the presentation? Yeah, so I won't go into too many details about it, but parking. I heard that. You heard that loud and clear. Heard that. It's a big challenge. But it was my first time at the community center there, and it was beautiful. It was really inspirational. And I think everyone around San Rafael should get a chance to experience that. It's really cool.
Okay. All right, so I think we're ready for adjournment then. All right, so the meeting is adjourned at the time of 7. All right. Okay. Where should I get?
Well, good job.